The Jivatma who has been detached from this body, detached from this samsara, is called Brahma. It is nirdosha. It does not have karma. It does not have any connection to this samsara. Suppose there is such an Atman, a Mukta Atma, an Atman that does not have any connection with this samsara. That Atman is called Brahma. Nirdosham hi samam Brahma. All such Atmans are equal. Even when they are residing within this body, all Atmans are as such in their nature similar. They are all just made of knowledge. What differentiates them is the body that they take up or the activities that they do. All of these are not natural to them. An Atman is not a cow by nature. It has taken the body of a cow because of its past deeds. I am a human not by nature. I am an Atma who is just made of knowledge. I have taken this body because of my past deeds. Therefore, nirdosham hi samam Brahma. If you remove all these doshas, you remove the body, you put it away for a moment. You look at the Atma devoid of all of these, then nirdosham hi samam Brahma. All Atmans are equal. Therefore, tasmad brahmani te sthitaha. One who is capable of viewing everything equal has won over this samsara because he does not have any rivalry with anyone anymore. He does not have any desire or any dislike. He views everyone equally. So in time he can he can perform bhakti yoga and attain Bhagavan himself. Therefore, Sri Krishna says all Atmans are equal. All Jivatmas are just made of knowledge. They are not this body. They are not their education. They are not their activity. They are just an entity made of knowledge. So you should treat all of them equally. The same thing was told by Parashara Maharshi in Vishnu Purana. The same thing was told by the Upanishads. Anantaraha, Abahyaha, Kritsnaha, Vijnana Ghanayeva. He is completely made of knowledge alone. Now, this is one aspect which unites us all. We are all made of knowledge. Be it a Jivatma within a human body, a Jivatma within the body of an animal, a Jivatma within the body of a plant, or the Jivatma within a rock. All of us are made of knowledge. This is one common attribute that unites us all. The second attribute is that we all possess Brahman as our Atma. Vedas say, Tat Srishtva Tadeva Anupravishat Tadanupravishya Satchatyacha Bhavat. Once Brahman creates this world, it enters them. Anena Jivena Atmana Anupravishya Nama Rupe Vyakaravani. Therefore, Brahman resides within every Jivatma. You can take an example. This is my body. We call it a Shariram or Deha. I am the Atma who is residing within this body. So I am an Atma and this is my Shariram. Similarly, Bhagavan resides within me. Therefore, I am the Shariram for Bhagavan. Sriman Narayana resides within the Jivatma. Jivatma resides within a body. So this body, the body of a human being, is a Shariram to me, the Jivatma. Similarly, this Jivatma is the Shariram for Paramatma. This is how their connection is. So, Brahmatmakatvam, possessing Brahman as our Atma or being the body of Brahman is common to all of us. You would have heard this popular saying, Neha nanasti kinchana. Upanishads say, Na iha nana asti. Several things are not present here. Nana means multitude. Several things, na iha asti, are not present here. Neha nana asti kinchana. This is a little confusing to us. All this while, we have seen that there is a Paramatma, there are many Jivatmas, then there are Achetana in non-sentient objects. When so many different objects are there, how can the Upanishad say, Na iha nana asti? Multiple objects are not there, there is only one object. How is this possible? This is possible because this verse does not mean that there is no second entity. It means all entities are possessing Brahman as their Atma, or Paramatma resides within everything in this world, and so all things are similar. Na iha nana asti does not mean there is no second entity. It means there is no second type of entity. All entities in this world have Brahman Paramatma as their Antaratma. Paramatma resides within them. So there is no entity which can exist without Paramatma residing inside it. So Neha Nanasti Kinchana means there is no second type of entity. All entities here are in essence Brahman alone. Brahman resides within everything else, and so Brahman is the one supreme entity. This is what is meant by Neha Nanasti. This is again common to us all. The first common attribute is we are all made of Jnanam. We are not this body. We are not differentiated by the attributes of this body like color or height or weight. We are all similar because we are made of just pure knowledge. Second, we are just not knowledge. We are the body of Paramatma. Paramatma resides within each and every one of us. So, when you see a foe, you cannot see that he is a different person. He is also the body of Paramatma. I am also the body of Paramatma. There can be no rivalry between us. Suppose my left hand and my right hand start fighting each other. Then there is no end to it. It does not happen. When two things are parts of the body of one person, then there is no quarrel between them. Similarly, when I understand that my foe is also the body of Paramatma, I am also the body of Paramatma, then there can be no rivalry between us. We should both together try to serve Paramatma. So this is one equality that will help us a lot in attaining Shanti. Vedas say, Sarvam khalu idam brahma tad jalan iti shanta upasita. Shanti means calmness, peace. Vedas say the only way you can attain peace is by knowing that Brahman resides everywhere. Sarvam khalu idam brahma. This whole universe is just Brahman. It is not two different entities. Brahman is a different entity. This world is a different entity. Or I am independent of Brahman. All these understandings are false. You should understand that Brahman is the only entity. Brahman resides within everything in this world. Therefore, you cannot have any quarrel with anyone else. Sarvam khalu idam brahma tad jalan. Brahman creates this world. Brahman sustains this world. Brahman destroys this world. So this whole world is Brahman itself. There is no distinction possible. When you understand this more and more, Shanta Upasita, you will attain Shanti, because there is no different person. Suppose I have a different agenda. I am the body of Paramatma, so I wish to serve him. Someone else is not the body of Paramatma. He has a different agenda, so there is a clash of ideas between us. This is the only possible way for a quarrel. Suppose both of us understand that we are both the body of Brahman and that Brahman resides within both of us, then there is no place for quarrel between us. Therefore, the second equality that we should understand is all entities in this world have Brahman residing within them. Brahman is our Antaratma, our Antaryami. We say that Bhagavan resides within each and every one of us. So we are all similar in that way also. We are all made of knowledge and Brahman resides within each and every one of us. That is the second similarity. Then there is a third similarity which we come to know from the Tamil Upanishads. Till now we have seen about the Sanskrit Upanishads, the Vedanta. Similarly, there is one called Godopanishad. This time is when the Utsavam of Sri Andal Nachiyar is taking place. Trivadipuram is coming up and we are celebrating the 10-day festival of Trivadipuram. So, we will see how Andal describes that all Jivatmas are equal also. We have considered two aspects. One is everyone is made of knowledge. The second aspect is everyone has Brahman residing within them. The third aspect is all of us are servants of Brahman. It is not enough that Brahman resides within us. We should understand that we are the servants of Brahman. This is called Sheshatvam. Sheshatvam means that I am a servant, Brahman is my master. So all I should do is try to bring some good, do some good for my master. If we understand this more and more, it is easier to be friends with others. So Neelatunga Stanagiri Tati Suptam Udbodhya Krishnam Pararthyam Swam Shrutishata Shirasiddham Adhyapayanti Svochishhtayam Srajanigalitam Ya Balatkritya Bhungte Goda Tasyai Nama Idamidam Bhuya Evastu Bhuyaha. This is a Taniyan that was offered by Sri Parashara Bhatta towards Andal. What he says here is Neela Tungas Tanagiri Tati Suptam Udbodhya Krishnam. Krishna was sleeping on Napinnai's chest. Andal came and woke him up and said, Pararthyam Swam Shruti Shata Shiras Siddham Adhyapayanti. Shruti means Vedas. Shruti Shata Shiras. Shiras means the head or the Anta, the Vedantas. Shruti Shata Shiras Siddham Pararthyam Adhyapayanti. She woke Krishna up and told him, informed him that I am your servant. I am Shesha, you are Sheshi. Therefore, I will perform Kainkaryam. You will have to accept that. This is what Sri Andal did in Tirupavai. Pararthyam Swam Shruti Shata Shiras Siddham. So, this is the third uniting factor. All of us are Shesha of Bhagavan. We are all servants of one master. Therefore, there can be no quarrel between us. We are all made of Jnanam. The differences in our body do not differentiate us. This is one unifying factor. The second thing is, we all possess Brahman as our Antaryami. Brahman resides within me, Brahman resides within you also. Therefore, we are parts of a single whole. It is like two hands of a single body. Therefore, we cannot quarrel between ourselves. The third aspect that Andal brought out is, everyone is a Shesha, is a servant of a single master. Therefore, there cannot be any quarrel between us. Pararthyam Swam Shruti Shata Shiras Siddham Adhyapayanti. So, we have seen that there are three similarities. All Jivatmas in this world are similar according to the Upanishads because one, they are all just made of knowledge. You cannot differentiate them based on their Swarupam. Next, they all possess Brahman as their Antaryami. Brahman resides within each and every Atma. Therefore, you cannot differentiate between them. Next, they are all servants, Shesha Bhutas of the same master. So, there is no difference there also. Andal in her first Pasuram says, Marhali Tingal Madinirainda Nannalal Neerada Poduvir Podumino Neredayir Sheermalhum Aipadi Chelvat Chirmirhal. She is calling the inhabitants of Gokula, Aipadi, to come join her in enjoying Krishna, in going and waking up Krishna and doing service to him. What she says here is, Neerada Poduvir Podumino. Neeratam here means enjoying Krishna, talking about Krishna, enjoying his qualities, getting his darshan, doing service to him and all of these. That is not to be done by us alone. When we go to serve Bhagavan, we should gather as many people as possible. That is why Andal is calling everyone. When she calls everyone, she does not qualify based on their gender. She does not qualify based on their intellect. She does not qualify based on their discipline. All she says is, Neerada Poduvir Podumino. Those who are interested in enjoying Krishna and his Leela, please come join me. Neerada Poduvir. Those who are interested in this Krishna Anubhava, Podumino, please come and join me. So, there again she says all of us are equal. You might have been born in any family, you might have been with any education, you might have any amount of wealth, you might have any amount of bhakti, but all these do not matter in front of Bhagavan. Only what matters is you should have interest to know about him, you should have interest in reaching him. So, this is another common aspect. We are all made of knowledge. Brahman resides within each and every one of us. We are all servants of the great master, Sriman Narayana, and what matters, what is common to us all is our interest to attain liberation. There is nothing else that we need. If we all have interest, then we are all equals. This is what Andal told us. So, this first portion, we have seen how Jivatmas are all similar. They are not same. I am not saying that there is only one Jivatma in this world. There are countless Jivatmas. However, they are all similar. They are all equal because they are all made of knowledge. Brahman resides within each and every one of them and they are servants of the same master. So, this is the similarity or equality that the Upanishads preach amongst Jivatmas. But the Upanishads do not stop there. They go on to say that Jivatmas and Paramatma are also equal, are also similar. This is not easy to digest. We know that we are not omnipotent. We have very less power. Bhagavan has a lot of power. He is able to create and destroy worlds. I am not able to do that. He is Sarvagnya. He is said to be omniscient. He can cognize everything in this world. We are not able to do that. When there are so many such differences, how does the Veda say that Jivatma and Paramatma are also similar? There is one verse, Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Vriksham Parishasvajade Tayoranyah Pippalam Swadvatti Anashnan Anyaha Abhichakashiti. What this verse says is, there are two birds sitting in a single tree. One bird eats the fruits of that tree. The other bird does not eat the fruits that come from that tree. However, the bird that is eating the fruits becomes duller and duller. The bird that does not eat the fruit becomes brighter and brighter. This is what this verse says. But it is not just about two fruits or two birds or just a tree. What this means is, Dva Suparna, the Jivatma and Paramatma are the two birds that are mentioned here. Dva Suparna, Sayuja. Sayuk means those who have similar qualities. Paramatma and Jivatma are said to have similar qualities here. Dva Suparna Sayuja, Sakhaya. Sakha means friend. They both go together wherever they go. This Atma is present in this body. I am an Atma who is present in this body in this birth. Before this I was in a different body. Before that in a different body. Wherever I went, Brahman followed me. Paramatma always followed me. Therefore, these two are Sakhas. They are inseparable. They are always traveling together. Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. This Jivatma and Paramatma who have similar qualities are both living in a same tree. Samanam Vriksham Parishasvajate. Both Jivatma and Paramatma reside within this body. This body is made of flesh. Within this body there is a Jivatma, that is me. Within that Jivatma, Paramatma exists. So ultimately, both Jivatma and Paramatma exist within this body. Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Vriksham Parishasvajate Tayor Anyaha Pippalam Swadu Atti. One of those two birds, the bird called the Jivatma, eats the fruits that grow in this tree. This tree is called Sharira. What are the fruits that come from the Sharira? Sorrow and pleasure. Sukha and Dukkha. This is what comes from this body, from this samsara. So the Jivatma partakes this food. It enjoys the sorrows, pleasures in this and is also grieved by the sorrows in this world. So, Tayor Anyaha Pippalam Swadu Atti. That bird eats the fruits of this tree and becomes dimmer and dimmer. We are not with great knowledge. We don't have great power. We have almost forgotten who Brahman is. Therefore, we enjoy the pleasures and sorrows in this world and become duller and duller. However, Brahman also resides within this body. Paramatma also resides within this body. He does not take part in this Sukha or Dukkha. Whenever there is a Sukham in this samsara, only I enjoy it. Paramatma does not enjoy it. When there is a Dukkham from this world, I only am subject to that Dukkham. Paramatma is not subject to that sorrow. Therefore, Tayor Anyah Pippalam Swadu Atti. The Jivatma partakes of this Sukham and Dukkham. Therefore, he is dull. Anashnan Anyaha Abhichakashiti. Paramatma does not eat any of these sorrows and pleasures. He is always bright. He is resplendent. He is lustrous. Therefore, this verse says, in this body, there are two birds, Paramatma and Jivatma. When describing them, this says, Sayuja Sakhaya. Sayuk means two people who have similar qualities. So this is where Samyam or equality between Jivatma and Paramatma is explained in the Upanishads. What are the common qualities? There are 8 qualities that the Upanishads say. Apahata Papma, vijaraha, vimrutyuhu, vishokaha, vijigitsaha, apipasaha, satyakamaha, satyasankalpaha. These are 8 attributes that Paramatma also has and Jivatma also has. Apahata papma, he is devoid of any papam, any sin. Vijaraha, he does not grow old. Vimrutyuhu, he does not die. Apahata papma, vijaraha, vimrutyuhu, vishokaha, he need not be sorrowful at any point in time. Vishokaha, vijigitsaha, apipasaha, he is not subject to hunger, he is not subject to thirst. Apipasaha, satyakamaha, all his wishes are fulfilled. Satyasankalpaha, when he wills something, that activity is carried out immediately. Brahman is said to be Satyasankalpa. When Paramatma creates this world, it is not that it is a very tedious task that he takes a long time to do. What Paramatma does is, he wills it. We say Sankalpa. Sankalpa means a will. He just thinks, let the world come into being, or let Srishti take place, then immediately all these worlds are created. When he just thinks, let there be destruction, all these worlds are destroyed and pralaya starts. Therefore, this Sankalpa, Satya Sankalpa, his Sankalpam, his will is always Satyam, it is always true. Similarly, this Jivatma Sankalpa is also true. This is what the Vedas says in 2 different passages. When talking about Paramatma in one passage, it says Apahata papma, vijaraha, vimrutyuhu, vishokaha, vichikitsaha, apipasaha, satyakamaha, satyasankalpaha, sarvamidam abhyattaha, avaki, anadaraha. This is about Parabrahman. Then in Prajapati Vidya, while talking about Jivatma also, the same verse is seen. Apahata papma, vijaraha, vimrutyuhu, vishokaha, vichikitsaha, apipasaha, satyakamaha, satyasankalpaha. So in 2 different places, the Upanishads say these 8 qualities are present in Paramatma, these 8 qualities are present in Jivatma also. That is why this verse says Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. These 2 birds, Jivatma and Paramatma, that reside within the single body are of similar nature. They have similar attributes. This is the equality between us and Paramatma. We could have never imagined this. We would think that we are a very lowly being and Paramatma is a very supreme entity. However, the Upanishads say, don't think of yourself as a very low grade entity. Don't think of Bhagavan as a very supreme entity, a supreme being. There is some similarity between Jivatma and Paramatma also. That similarity is in these 8 attributes, Apahata papma, vijaraha, vimrutyuhu, etc. However, we will get a doubt here. I don't seem to be Satya Sankalpa. Anything that I will does not happen in this world. All my desires are not yet fulfilled. I am not without hunger. I am not without thirst. Then how can the Upanishads say this Jivatma is without hunger, without thirst, is Satyakama, Satyasankalpa, etc. That is explained in another verse. Tada vidwan punyapape vidhuya niranjanaha paramam samyam upaiti. Mundakopanishad says, Yada pashyaha pashyate rukmavarnam kartaram isham purusham brahmayonim tada vidwan punyapape vidhuya niranjanaha paramam samyam upaiti. When this Jivatma, when this seer, tada pashyaha, one who sees Brahman truly, one who knows what Brahman exactly is, pashyaha, pashyate rukmavarnam, Bhagavan has the light or the lustre of a gold. Pashyate rukma varnam kartaram isham purusham brahma yonim. He is called Purusha. He is the karanam for this whole world. This whole jagat is created from Brahman. Kartaram isham purusham brahma yonim. Tada vidwan punyapape vidhuya. When one truly understands Brahman, when he truly sees Paramatma, punyapape vidhuya, he gets rid. Merit is called punyam, demerit is called papa. So that is sin. So tada vidwan punya pape vidhuya. He is removed of all of these. Punya pape vidhuya niranjanaha. Anjanam means usually the kajal that we apply. Niranjanaha. There is nothing that is sticking him to this samsara. He has no connection to this samsara anymore. Niranjanaha paramam samyam upaiti. He attains equality with Brahman. Samyam means equality. Paramam Samyam Upaiti. He attains equality with Paramatma. This is what this Shruti Vakyam says, this Upanishad Vakyam says. So, first the verse said Jivatma and Paramatma are similar. Sayuja, they both have these 8 common qualities. Another verse said, when this person truly understands Brahman and is liberated from this world, he gets rid of all his papa and punya. At that point, he becomes similar to Brahman. Tada vidwan punya pape vidhuya niranjanaha paramam samyam upaiti. He attains equality with Brahman. This is what the second verse says. So, now we can understand this Jivatma has similarities with Brahman. However, it is not when we are in this samsara. This similarity is shown only when we reach Sri Vaikuntham, when we attain liberation. So, these 8 qualities are residing within us. It is not that these qualities are not present in us. They are created afresh when we go to Sri Vaikuntham. These 8 qualities are the natural qualities of Jivatma. Another verse says, Svena Rupena Abhinishpadyate Yesha Samprasadaha Asmat Sharirat Samuthaya Swayam Paranjoti Rupasampadya Svena Rupena Abhinishpadyate. This Jivatma gets rid of this body. He attains Sri Vaikuntham, Param Jyoti Rupasampadya. He goes close to Bhagavan Paramatma, who is Param Jyotis, Param Jyoti Rupasampadya, Svena Rupena Abhinishpadyate. He is resplendent with his own natural form. It is not that these 8 Kalyana Gunas, Apahatapapma, Vijaraha, Vimrutyuhu, etc., were not present in Jivatma before. They are created afresh when he visits or when he reaches Sri Vaikuntham. The truth is that even now we are capable of being Apahatapapma, Vijaraha, Vimrutyuhu, etc. Our natural state is being in that way. We are Satya Sankalpa, we are Satya Kama, we are not subject to thirst, we need not have hunger, we need not grow old, we need not die. However, this natural tendency of the Jivatma is not shown here. In the samsara, we are bound by karma. So, all these attributes that we should possess, that are naturally present with us, have been enshrouded by this karma. Therefore, when this karma is removed, these qualities are resplendent again. So, we should understand this similarity between Jivatma and Paramatma is not created afresh. Even now, we are Apahatapapma, Vijaraha, Vimrutyuhu, etc. Paramatma is also Apahatapapma, Vijaraha, Vimrutyuhu, etc. However, in this samsara, since we are bound by karma, these Kalyana Gunams are not shown outside. They are residing within us, but they are not shown outside. When we leave this samsara and go to Sri Vaikuntham, there is no more karma to enshroud these gunas. Therefore, these gunas are resplendent and we become equal with Paramatma in these 8 Kalyana Gunams. I am not saying that we are equal in all ways. From tomorrow, I will not be the consort of Sri Mahalakshmi Tayar. I will not be the one who can ride Garuda Vahana. I will not be the one who can lie down on Adishesha Paryanka. Those qualities are unique to Paramatma. However, there is similarity between Paramatma and Jivatma in these 8 Kalyana Gunas. So, these 8 things, similarly, Ananda Samyam. Brahman has supreme happiness. Saishanandasya Mimagamsa Bhavati. Upanishad tries to find out how happy Brahman is. It tries to measure the happiness of Brahman, but says, I am not able to. Yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasasaha anandam brahmano vidwan. Vedas Upanishad says, I am not able to measure the happiness of Brahman. It is Niratishaya Ananda. It has supreme happiness. There is no way to measure it. When this Jivatma is liberated from this samsara and attains mukti, we get that happiness that is equal to the happiness of Brahman. Therefore, these 8 qualities are similarities between Brahman and me. Similarly, there is equality in happiness between Paramatma and Jivatma. This is the second thing. This is the similarity between Paramatma and Jivatma. The first concept was the similarity amongst Jivatmas. all Jivatmas are made of knowledge, all Jivatmas are possessing Brahman as their Antaryami, all Jivatmas are servants of Paramatma. So these are the similarities between Jivatmas. Next, between Jivatma and Paramatma, the similarity is he also possesses 8 gunas, we also possess 8 gunas naturally, but they are not shown outside now. When we reach Vaikuntham, those 8 Kalyana gunas will be resplendent again. Similarly, there is equality in Anandam between Bhagavan and Jivatma. This is the second equality. So, from now till now, we have seen that all Jivatmas are equal. Similarly, Jivatma and Paramatma are equal in certain ways. However, all this is from our viewpoint. Krishna says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini. He instructs us to see all Jivatmas are equal. He instructs us to see that Jivatma and Paramatma are also equal in certain ways. This is what we have seen till now. But the Upanishads go a step further and also says, from the viewpoint of Paramatma too, all Jivatmas are similar and Jivatmas and Paramatma are similar. From the viewpoint of Jivatmas, we have seen till now, we are all made of knowledge, we all possess Brahman as our Antaryami, we are all servants of Brahman, so we should consider everyone as equal. But there is also from the viewpoint of Paramatma, how he is common to all, how he views all Jivatmas are equal. Veda says, the Vedas say, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. One Brahman, one Paramatma gives all the desires of all other beings in this world. Nityaha, Ekaha, Chetanaha. One supreme being is the one who gives the fruits to everyone. I might go to Bhagavan and pray for a house. Someone else might go to Bhagavan and ask for a child. Someone else might want a booming business. So when all of us have certain desires, there needs to be a person who fulfills these desires. That person is Paramatma. He alone is common to all of us. Nityaha ekaha chetanaha nityanam bahunam chetananam kaman vidadhati. It is not that my desire is fulfilled by someone else and your desire is fulfilled by someone else. A single Paramatma Sriman Narayana gives all our desires, fulfills all our desires. So in the first step itself, in fulfilling our desires, he is common to all of us. He sees everyone as equals. He does not differentiate between us. Similarly, Lord Krishna in his Bhagavad Gita says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha. He directly says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu. I am equal to all. Samaha means I am common. I am equal to all. Sarva bhuteshu. I do not differentiate based on any quality. Name dveshyaha asti na priyaha. I do not favor someone. I do not dislike someone else also. What does this mean? When Krishna says, I am common, I am equal to all, what he means is, when someone has grown tired of this samsara and wants to attain mukti, he wants liberation, he must now go and surrender at the feet of Lord Krishna. This is called Ashrayanam. So when someone wants to surrender to Lord Krishna is common to everyone. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. Swami Ramanuja says, Ashrayaniyatve samaha. Anyone and everyone can go to him and surrender at his feet and request for mukti. He does not differentiate anyone based on their birth, based on their wealth, based on their education or anything. That is what he says next. Name dveshyosti na priyaha. Suppose there are two people. One is wealthy, the other one is a beggar. When both of them come to Krishna and surrender at his feet, it is not that Krishna favors the one who has a lot of wealth. Name dveshyosti na priyaha. Priyaha, priti means favoring someone. I do not favor someone because of their wealth or education or birth. Similarly, I do not dislike or hate someone based on their wealth or their education or their birth. Name dveshyosti na priyaha. I do not have any hatred or I do not have any liking towards any specific person. I am common to all. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. This is Lord Krishna's word. So he is common to all of us. He treats all jivatmas are equal. Of course, there will be differences between jivatmas. One might be born in a different family, another might be born in a different family. One might be educated and might know the Shastras, another might not even know to read or write. One might be wealthy, the other one might be a pauper. However, Brahman does not differentiate on these. When Paramatma grants mukti, he does not consider your wealth or your birth or your education. All he sees is your bhakti. So when you want to surrender to God, he is common to all of us. So this is how he sees us as equals. The first thing that we saw was we should view all Atmas are equals. Now Bhagavan is viewing all Atmas are equals. He does not differentiate based on their birth or wealth. Name dveshyosti na priyaha. All he sees is, do you have a desire to attain mukti? Do you have a desire to perform kainkaryam or service to me? This is all that he expects. He does not expect anything else. This is why he is called Samoham Sarvabhuteshu.